What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to do a look and go through the entire Sugarpill 10-year anniversary collection, which includes the 10-year anniversary palette, some pigments, some lip products, and we're going to use them all here on camera today and have a grand old time doing it, quite frankly. It's been well over a week since I filmed, which means, as usual, that I forgot how to YouTube. I don't know how to do this anymore. Please bear with me. Hopefully I figure it out as I go along. I have different hair. Christmas passed. There's just so much stuff has happened since the last time I saw you guys. How are you? I missed you. As usual, whenever we go through a full collection like this, there's a lot to get through, so I won't keep us here in the intro too long. But A, like this video if you don't mind taking a second, because it's very helpful and I would appreciate it. B, subscribe if you are new, because I would love to have you around. It would be a delight, a pleasure, a momentous occasion, and I would love it. Thank you so much. C, I'm going to do video chapters and timestamps for all the different products if you want to jump to one or the other, or just the look or whatever. Everything else that I have on my face and everything that I'm wearing will be listed in the description. AMBRA merch will also be listed in the description. What else is going on, guys? What's up? How you been? Oh, just for full disclosure, Sugarpill sent me this collection. I didn't pay for it. It was in PR just in case. I always mark everything in the description, but you know, just let you know anyway. Also, I know I'm gonna get hair questions because everybody just always wants to talk about hair, even when it's a makeup channel or, you know, honestly, anything. Anything else but makeup you guys want to talk about more than the makeup usually, which is maybe indicative of like what I should be doing with my content, but also maybe not. I don't know. The intention with the hair was to do some really bright blonde streaks to contrast against the black. However, my hair's been black for a really long time and it's gonna take a minute to get there. So my hairdresser and I decided to take a little pit stop along the way instead of frying my hair off at the root, and we compromised on this pretty little copper shade, and I think it's a fun time, and personally I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys like it too, and eventually it'll get lighter, or maybe it won't, or maybe I'll do another color. Time will tell. Anyways, I think that's all we gotta talk about before we get into it. So let's just dive in to the eye look first with this palette from the Sugarpill 10th anniversary collection. Alright, so this is the Sugarpill 10-year anniversary collection. It comes in a giant version of one of their capsule motifs. The capsule palette that's in here is gold, so this matches on the outside too. And on the inside we have the palette. We have 5 loose eyeshadows and 6 glosses. My plan is to do a look with the palette, which looks like this on the inside, by the way, using this as like the base and then adding some of the loose pigments. Also, my hair, this little money piece in my hair, looks so red and like reddish orange on camera, and IRL it is not, like, at all. So to start off the eye, I'm gonna grab a BH number 6, and I think I'm gonna begin by going into the shade Lacy. Zoom you in a little bit because we're so far away and I feel distant from you and it makes my heart sad. I'm gonna make this pointy today, I think we're gonna go. It's been so long since I filmed. Tell me, how were your holidays, you guys? What's going on? Tell me what's up. I had a decent Christmas. It was fine. It was nothing spectacular. It just was. But you know what? As far as 2020 is concerned, I feel like that's a huge win, you know? I got an Apple Watch for Christmas and it's really cool and I love having it, especially for like the fitness part of it. However, I have now discovered that my resting heart rate is around 45 and I think that makes me clinically dead. So I don't know what that's about, but that's a fact about me that we all know now. I'm gonna grab a Real Techniques shading brush and I'm gonna go right into this purple shade Pill Kitty. And I'm gonna start working that into a little pointy point at the end. And I'm also gonna put a little bit of that right on the inner corner. And I'm gonna create a little cut in the center of the lid. Even though we have a pointy shape, it's gonna be a rounded cut in the middle. I'm gonna use my Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer in the white shade. I'm gonna use my little NABLA cut crease brush. Any round brush will do. And then once I have that cut, I'm going to choose one of the pigments to put in the middle. But before we do that, why don't we take a look at what these pigments look like? I'll do a quick little fingy swatch of each one. This is the shade Solar. That's what that shade looks like on the finger. This is the shade Fever Dream. This is the one I think I'm gonna use on my lid because it looks pretty. And that's what Fever Dream looks like on my finger. Honestly, actually, now that I've swatched, hey, focus on it, camera. Thank you. No, thank you, not on my face. That looks more of like a simple champagne than I was thinking. It looks a little bit more like it's going to be color shifty in the bottle. So like, I don't know, maybe we won't use that one. Time will tell. Let's decide at the end. Wait a second, I lied. It was this shade Flora that looked like it was all pretty and shifty in the other lighting. Oh, there we go. Now this makes sense. Okay, this might be the one that goes in the middle of the lid. Hello. That's what that shade looks like on my finger. Now we're talking. Yep, okay. This is the shade Mystic. And that's what Mystic looks like swatched. That's really pretty too. Definitely something I can see myself playing with in the near future. And last but not least, this is the shade Trance. And that's what Trance looks like on the finger. That's stunning. I love that shade. I feel like it'd be really pretty over like a black base, just as like a smoky eye. Ooh. Of all the things in this collection, I think the pigments are the ones that are most appealing to me so far. I'm gonna grab that brush and I'm gonna start cutting the crease in the center of the lid, just keeping my eye open so I can measure it properly and using the shape of the brush to create that cut. And just tapping over the edge as usual to soften it up. I'm gonna take a Sigma E36 and I'm gonna go back into the purple shade. Hey, what was your name again? Pill Kitty. I'm just gonna tickle that back over the edges of where we put down that white to blend it and to kind of deepen up the corners a bit more, because I have found so far with this shade that it blends okay, but it does better when you try to build it up instead of like slapping it on and just going with it, which is generally the method that I use. I'm gonna slap it on and figure it out later kind of gal. But with this one, I noticed it works better if I build it up. All right, now the fun part. I'm gonna grab that shade Flora and I'm going to pick it up on a small brush and pat it over where I put down that white concealer. You know when you're a kid and you read things and you never say them out loud and you just like assume how they're pronounced in your head even though it doesn't make any sense? When I was a kid, I know there was a specific period of time where I thought concealer was pronounced conclear. And in my head, it made perfect sense. I'm gonna pick that up on a NABLA Lash Line Smudger brush. And I'm gonna use the flat side of that brush just to pack that down over the white. Whoa, that color is stunning. Wow, I like this a lot. I'm getting like so much fallout from it because it is a loose shadow. So I suppose I should have expected that. But the color though, I'm gonna pick up the E36 brush again and just go back over the edge and blend it with the purple. My initial thought was I was gonna go over the center with that champagne shade to like make the middle pop more, but this is such a pretty color that I don't even wanna touch it. I'm just leaving it by itself. We're not doing that. We're not messing with it today. I put down some concealer and powder and I'm going to go through the waterline with a purple pencil. This is Viper from Urban Decay. I'm just thinking that continuing the purpley vibe will be pretty down there. It's a bit more cool toned than the other purples in there, but whatever, we'll live. On a NABLA pointed crease brush, on a NABLA pointed crease brush, I'm gonna go back into the shade Lacy again, like we did in the crease. I'm gonna recreate the whole gradient that we did on the top and just make it like one complete triangular lifted sexual shape. So why is it sexual, Nicole? Just fucking don't describe it as that, you creep. On the outer corner, a pointy lifted shape. Sexy would be a better term than sexual. That just makes it creepy the way I said it. I'm gonna grab a MAC 228 brush and I'm gonna go back into Pill Kitty again. And I'm gonna use that shade to blend out closer to the lower lashes. And again, connect that shape and make it all one little. And on a clean pencil brush, I'm gonna highlight the inner corner with the shade Oaklandish from this palette. It's like a minty green, and I think it'll make a nice little inner corner highlight that'll go with the green that we put on the center here. So I'm just gonna pop that right on the inner corner of the eye. All right, I touched up the rest of my skin and I added House of Lashes Aquamarine lashes, and I think the eye look is done here. I really like the way this eye look turned out. I don't know that this is my favorite of the Sugarpill capsule collection palettes, but it is pretty nice. We'll touch on that more at the end of the video in the little review section though, but I do really love this pigment, like love it. So I think we're doing pretty well so far. All that we have left in the collection is these 6 glosses, so I'm going to swatch each of them for you now. I'll put together a little lip combo and we'll talk about everything at the end. Does that sound good? Excellent, I'm glad you're on board. Oh, Nicole from the future here, pardon me, just jumping in to tell you that I'm an idiot. 3 of these seem to be liquid lipsticks and the other 3 are lip glosses. So I'm going to do the lipsticks first. I literally have one on like half of my lips right now. I just realized as I was doing it. Wow. So I'm going to do the lip colors first, and the lip gloss is next. And we're still going to swatch them all, and it's going to be great. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, for the lip, I wound up using the Haus Labs Rule Lip Pencil because it has a little bit of a warmer tone to it. And I went over that with the gloss in the shade Purity, just kind of in the center to like highlight it up. And I actually really, really like the way that that turned out. I think it's really pretty. Now that we have a whole look going, let's talk about this collection as a whole. I think the packaging on these capsule collection palettes are adorable to begin with, and I like the gold one best out of all of the ones that I have. Personally, I don't think this color story is tailored for me. It's a little bit on the brighter, lighter side, and it's a little maybe disjointed in my opinion. Definitely not my favorite color story as far as these series of palettes are concerned, but if you do like these colors, I think you'll enjoy it because everything that I used from here, granted it wasn't the whole palette, but everything performs just like we expect Sugarpill shadows to perform. I don't see any surprises here. The purple did need to build a little bit, but not in a way where it was like giving me trouble and it was patchy. The loose shadows I think are probably the most interesting part of this collection, and quite frankly, they're stunning. The Sugarpill loose shadows have always been one of my favorite products that they have, so I'm not surprised that I like these the most in this collection, but I do really particularly like these shades. This one that I have on the middle of my lid, Flora, is stunning. It's so pretty in person, and I'm really, really excited to use Trance in another look. I'm going to probably play with this a little bit this week. It's like really rich, and it's just really, that one's like right in my wheelhouse. They're all really pretty. Those two just really stood out to me though. The colors on the lip products in this collection, honestly, they're not really for me. None of them are really anything that I would be like, oh my god, I have to have that in my life, with the exception of the one that I wound up wearing, the lip gloss in the color Purity. This is something that I can see myself using quite a lot, but probably not by itself, more as a topper to other things, kind of the way I used it here. Other two glosses are just a little bit too frosty for me, and I don't know, the shades on the liquid lipsticks just are not for me. They're just not my speed. But I do like the Sugarpill liquid lipstick formula in that it is very comfortable. It's very thin, and I do usually feel like I need to layer it a little bit to get it completely opaque, but it's so light on the lips that I don't mind doing that because I know it's gonna last really well and it doesn't crack or like make me feel like what you know, like sometimes you put on a liquid lipstick and you feel like it's not like that. They also smell really good, like orange creamsicle, and I love that. Overall, I think it's a really quality collection. I think it's very representative of Sugarpill as their 10-year anniversary set for sure. They do have that cutesy, bright, light sort of an aesthetic, and so this just falls right in line with that. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this collection when you saw it. Did you pick anything up? Are you planning to pick anything up in the future? Do you like Sugarpill products? What's your favorite? Whatever you're thinking, whatever is kicking around in that little noggin of yours right now, I want to hear about it. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it because it's very helpful and I would really appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to stick around for more videos. I would love to have you. Come find me on Instagram because I'm over there all the time. I update my stories quite frequently. It's also the best way to just like kind of hang out more casually and get to know each other a little bit better, which is cool. So I would love to have you there for that as well. My eye is watering this makeup right off, which is appropriate because Barbara merch is still available in the description and in the little merch bar down below. If you were interested in that, go check it out. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.